Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lorna Jackson, and my channel is Soul Tarot Journey Cards. And I've dedicated this channel solely to my tarot deck, the one that I have designed and created. And I'm just explaining the cards, and I'm just also reading from the book that I've written that go with the cards. So the first video that I did was introducing the deck, and I did a one card explanation on the zero on the soul card. So this video is about the tarot journey and what it really means. Most people are not aware of what the tarot is really about. They think that it's a fortune telling process where you can look at your future and maybe predict what's going to happen. Now yes, that's true. We can look at the future, but it's not set in stone. But the real meaning behind the tarot is a journey. It's the soul's journey to awareness, and which is enlightenment. And that journey takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And we experience many trials, tribulations, ups and downs through the course of our life. It is a journey, and we do go through this journey many times as a soul when we reincarnate. So I'm just going to read a short excerpt from my book, the tarot book that goes with the deck. And it's about self-awareness. And I just feel very strongly about self-awareness. It is something that comes upon us as we go through life, and things start to repeat. We start to see patterns occurring. And often people who have some sort of self-awareness to some degree begin to question their life and what's actually happening, and what's going on. Why are these patterns reoccurring? So there is a strong scientific evidence emerging that suggests people who are self-aware and aware of how others see them become happier. They become more content with themselves. Self-aware people make smarter decisions and have a better personal and professional relationships in their life. The qualities that are most critical for success in today's world are emotional intelligence, empathy, how we influence people, communication, and collaboration. And they all stem from self-awareness. Now, if we're not self-aware, it's almost impossible to master the skills that make us strong team players, superior leaders, and better relationship builders, either at work or in other areas of our life. Most people instinctively know that self-awareness is important because, after all, it is a term used freely these days. But despite the critical role it plays in our success and happiness, self-awareness is a remarkable, rare quality. So another phrase for self-awareness is self-actualization. And this is a term that was coined by the grandfather of psychology, Abraham Maslow. Now, self-aware actualization basically means the need to become what one has the potential to be. And according to Maslow, psychological maturity in adults is incredibly rare. And statistics show that less than 2% of people are actually mature enough to reach their true potential. Now that means that more than 98% are not reaching their true potential as mature adults, which is really quite startling when you think about that. So while this is a sobering statistic, if you observe those around you, the interests of most people and the media we consume, this percentage is really not so surprising. And the cause is often from deeply ingrained feelings of being unsafe, unloved, unworthy, low self-esteem, which blocks the natural course of emotional development. Now, basic needs are often insufficiently met in childhood. A lot of children are neglected, especially emotionally. And as adults, they are attempting to meet them as for themselves, and they're ill-equipped. So the challenge is that psychological needs cannot be met by anything outside of ourselves. For most people, it's easier to choose self-delusion, which is the opposite of self-awareness. And there are two types of self-awareness. And the first is internal self-awareness, which means seeing yourself clearly. Internal self-awareness is an inward understanding of your values, your passions, and aspirations for your life. An ideal environment, habits, patterns, and reactions, and how you impact other people. Now, people who are high in internal self-awareness tend to make choices that are consistent with who they really are and allow them to lead happier and more satisfying lives. Those without it act in ways that are incompatible with their true success and happiness, like staying in an unfulfilled job or a relationship because they don't know what they want. And there's many people that don't know what they want because they're confused about who they are. So external self-awareness is about understanding yourself from the outside in, knowing how other people see you. Because externally, self-aware people can accurately see themselves from other people's perspectives. They are able to build stronger and more trusting relationships. Those low in external self-awareness, on the other hand, are so disconnected that with how they come across, they're often blindsided by feedback from others. Now, the bottom line is that to become truly self-aware on both levels, you must understand yourself and how others see you. And what's more, the path to get there is very, very different than what most people believe. So self-awareness is a surprisingly easy skill to develop, and learning the tarot can accelerate progress in this area. The tarot deck that I've created and the book is about learning about the tarot in order to gain self-awareness of yourself. Learning the tarot can open a door into your subconscious mind and to help you to gain self-awareness on both internal and external levels. But most people don't realize that the process of self-actualization is synonymous to the hero's journey. And it is the development path from adolescent to mature adulthood, which takes a heroic persistence, courage, and will. And on this journey, you learn to confront your fears, resolve anger, accept guilt and shame, experience grief and loss. And you get to know your shadow, assert yourself, and see through your own self-deceptions. And as all of this continuously unfolds, we come closer and closer to ourselves and accessing more internal power and innate ability, and access and integrate more of our potential. So as a tarot reader, I came to realize there is always more to learn as we travel on this journey of the soul. And I really enjoy reading new perspectives on the tarot. And I encourage all my students to really go into the meanings of the tarot and to look deeply into them. And to use their intuition, because the major arcana is very much the journey of the soul, and it can lead to a very deep self-awareness. So that was an extract from the book, I also have all the meanings of the cards in my book, and I'm just flicking through now because I've drawn a card. We looked at the soul card in the other video that I did, And now I am looking at the Magician, which is card number 1. So there you have it. That's the Magician card. And you'll see that picture that's actually my husband John, who is also a hypnotherapist. And he is holding a pocket watch, which is very well known for hypnosis and taking people into a hypnotic state by swinging the pocket watch and focusing your eyes on that, and it takes you into quite a deep hypnotic state for people. And the reason I chose that particular image of John holding the watch is because it is so connected to the Magician card. Okay, the Magician card is known also as the Wizard, the Illusionist, the Hypnotist, the Trickster, and is the archetype of the active masculine principle and the ultimate achiever. And the Magician symbolizes the mental ability the soul will require to focus on and explore and survive the new environment which it finds itself in. And like I said, I've put John on that card because he is an accomplished hypnotist, and his sun sign is actually Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, and which is the ruling planet of this card as well, the Magician card. So my goal when creating this card was to modernize the images to make it easier for people who are new to learning the tarot to connect with them. And the image of a hypnotist is perfect to demonstrate this card, because the purpose of hypnotherapy is to change the mindset from negative to positive. So when the client is in hypnosis, the hypnotist uses his logic mind to access the subconscious mind of the client and removes negative habits, emotions, or behavior, changing them to positive behavior. And this process may seem magical, and it often does to clients, to people who have never been hypnotized before and don't understand how their mind works. So the hypnotist is a magician. And as the soul grows, he learns how to tap into the universal forces and to direct them for creative purposes. And his ability appears magical at times because his will helps him to achieve what seems to be miracles. And this card also represents the physical body and personality of the soul in order to fulfill the soul contract made in the new life. Now, psychologists link this card to the animus or projective part of the personality. And here you're projecting yourself out into the world. And one of the main reasons to study the tarot cards is to help the student to understand who and what they are. Awareness, again, self-awareness is key. And in doing so, this transforms the routine experiences of the ordinary, everyday living into magical events. And another is to come to know that the physical body is the home for your spiritual self, your soul. In other words, the goals are to become aware that you are more than your body, that you live in, and more than